So we'll just take a few moments to come into the breath, to come into the body, to just begin to notice and observe what's happening inside today. If it feels comfortable and available to you, you can just bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall open. And just begin to feel that opening through the hips. If it becomes distracting, of course, just straighten out the legs. And then just moving your awareness through your body, either starting at the top of the head or at the tips of the toes. Just checking in, noticing how you feel today. Noticing if there are any issues in the body that maybe you weren't aware of, any niggles, injuries, or feelings of discomfort just through tightness from activities you've been doing or postures you've been holding for long periods. And then as you move through the body, just try and begin to release some of that tension as you find it, maybe softening as much as you can through the hips, allowing the knees to relax to the floor. Particularly paying attention to areas like the hips and lower back where we store tightness and tension. Maybe also around the shoulders and the neck, the jaw, eyebrows and forehead. And then we'll take the attention to the mind, noticing how the mind is today. If there are a lot of busy thinking, there's been a lot of information passing through the mind today. Has there been a lot to process, a lot to think about? Or does it feel relaxed, tuned in? Is it easy to feel connected to yourself? And then finally, just observing your breathing. Begin to notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And if it helps to have the hands on the belly, you can begin to breathe into the belly, allowing the hands to rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale, just shifting to that deeper, longer, fuller breath, that yoga breathing. And then just focusing on adding the rib cage to that breath. So as you breathe into the belly, then add in breath to the rib cage and then exhale. And then also adding in the chest. So breathing first into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. Exhaling from the chest, from the ribs, from the belly. Inhale into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. Exhaling from the chest, from the ribs, from the belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale. Take a couple more rounds on your own, slow it down, fill it up. And then at the end of the next round, just release the breathing. And just allow the body a moment just to be natural. For the mind to be free to think if it needs to, for the body to breathe as it wishes. And then when you're ready, just gently hug the knees into the chest. We'll start with a few gentle warm-up stretches. So just feeling the lower back here as it moves in the floor. And then taking the arms wide, stretching out the fingertips to the sides, drop both knees to the right, turn the head to the left, squeeze that left shoulder blade back down towards the floor, and really feel that rotation in the spine, but also a chance to really breathe into the left side ribs, get that breath flowing again. And then engage your core muscles to bring the knees up and over to the other side. And again, squeezing that opposite shoulder blade down to the floor as you stretch out through the fingers, breathing through the rib cage, allowing the spine to just open and unravel. And then pull the belly in, bring the knees back up, place the feet flat to the floor, cross the right ankle over the left knee, pull the left knee towards you as you squeeze the right knee away. Just allow the hips a moment to open. Great, placing the left foot down, we'll extend the right leg up, grabbing a hold of either the shin or the ankle or the foot. Try and get the legs straight as you press the heel to the ceiling, draw the toes towards you, breathe into the back of the knee. And then we'll switch sides. Right foot down, left ankle over right knee. Threading through, pulling the knee towards you. Squeeze that left knee away, open into the hip and glutes. Focusing on the breath. Releasing tightness as you find it. And then left leg up to the ceiling, once again catching as high up towards the foot as you can, but really easing into the back of the leg as you press the heel up, straightening into the back of the knee. And then we'll release and move to happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of the feet, dropping the knees into the armpits. Just allow that leg to settle into the hip socket. Great. And then we'll rock up to sitting, extend the legs out in front, reach for the feet, and use this as a chance to stretch the backs of the legs, but also the upper back, the shoulders, the arms, as you really reach forwards. If you're holding your feet, try pressing your toes away from you. That increases the stretch through the arms and back. Keep the breath flowing. And then release. Let's swing the legs round and come to 4-point kneeling. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a few rounds of cat-cow and just move at your own pace. As slow as you can, as much mobility through the spine as you can. Breath and movement of same duration. And then if you want to get more mobile with it, move from cat to child, through cat through tunnel, and then back to cow. Inhaling, exhaling, dropping hips to heels. Inhale, pull through, and then find the back bend. And then exhale, begin again. And this can be a really nice alternative to straight cat-cow, just allowing the whole body to become part of this mobility, this motion through the spine, but still working through with the breath, making sure that breath and movement are synchronized. And then as you hit child's pose next, just soften down into child's pose, stretching the fingertips out in front. Just settling back the breath and releasing tension and tightness wherever it may be. Good, and then coming up, we'll tuck the toes under, stretch out through the soles of the feet, pushing the knees away. You can also warm up into the wrists, tops of the hands down. And then just coming back up, get more of a stretch through the toes, pushing the knees towards me. Great. And then we'll step the right leg through, come to a low lunge, sinking the hips down, chest up, and just settle back that breathing, making sure the yoga breathing is releasing that tightness through the left hip. Adding either a twist with the right hand or a quadricep stretch, maybe reaching for the back foot. Good, let's release and switch sides. Chest lifts, shoulders down, hips dropping towards the mat. Steady breath. And then right palm down, left hand either twisting or reaching for a quadricep stretch. Shoulders twist, breathe. And release. Good, let's step forward. Let's just take a passive hanging forward bend to begin with. Got plenty of opportunities to stretch into the hamstrings. So just allow gravity to hold you here and just allow gravity to lengthen the whole back line of the body from heel to scalp. You just feel that length. And then soften the knees and roll up bone by bone through the spine. Inhale, circle the shoulders back, interlace the hands, push the chest forwards. And then open the other way, pressing into the upper back. Great. Shake everything out. Grab a quick drink if you need. I have turned the heating off. It always takes a moment to catch up. Okay. So this is week 1 of our 4-week sequence. So introducing a new sequence. Last week I didn't bring my notes, so I was just making up. So this is official week 1, which works well because there are 5 weeks in October. So we'll be able to finish at the end of each month and then start on them. I've always wanted it to be like that and it's never worked. So that's brilliant. So week 1, we slow things down a bit. We introduce the sequence, whole poses a bit longer, thinking about building strength and flexibility. And really, when we're on weeks 1 and 2 and things are a bit slower, it's really a chance to really get into the breathing, because in week 3 and 4, obviously, you're moving that much quicker and it's a little bit harder to be very, very conscious of the breath. So when you're in a pose, you've got 2 choices. You can allow the mind to wander off into thinking, which is very easy to do, or you can take that moment of stillness in a posture to really focus on how the body's feeling. And also, if you can get just a fraction deeper, and I always think yoga is a really good practice for doing this, much more than cardio or any other, even weightlifting, anything that has a consistent movement. When you're in a posture, even if it's a quite straightforward posture, and this may look like I'm already doing a good pose, but there's so much more I could do right now. Take a look at my fingertips, I could be there. Look at my hips, I could be there. Look at my shoulders, I could be there. Look at my head, I could be here. These fingertips could be here. The back leg could be lifting even more. There are so many tiny adjustments you could do in a pose that take you so much deeper into it, so much more strength required to hold it. And you will benefit so much more if you are at your edge in every pose instead of way back in your comfort zone. So when you're holding a pose, that really gives you a chance to find that edge, to really work into it, to get really deep into it. So use weeks 1 and 2 as an opportunity to get to your edge and challenge your body. Okay, don't hurt yourself. There's a fine line. You don't want to go over the edge and fall down the cliff. Okay, let's reset the breath at the front of the mat. And let's go. Let's inhale the arms up. We'll exhale, fold hands to the floor. Let's step the right leg back. We'll come back to our low lunge. We'll put our pulse in this time. Inhale, arms sweeping up. Exhale, pulsing down. So really feel your way through this posture. I know you've done it 1,000 times, but every time you come to it, you're in a new body. So just feel how it feels as you sink deep into that hip flexor stretch and just challenge yourself into where you can be more, where you can breathe more, where you can move more. And then exhale, sinking hands down, we'll step to plank. Now, plank is a really good one because there's so much you can do in plank. You can either just sort of be hanging out like a sort of blob, or you could really be engaging every single muscle through your core. You could be pulling up your belly so much that your abs are actually aching just by holding your belly button in. So just really feel your way through core. Through plank, through the core, really lifting through the legs. Can you engage your legs so much that your quadriceps are literally burning just by holding it here? Lovely. Push forwards through the toes, knees, chest, hover, chin, elbows in. Release down to the floor and take your baby cobra. And then push back child's pose. So Sandra, when you're in plank, knees, and then make sure you don't go back. Make sure you drop the hips first and come forwards, because then you'll land ready for cobra. So if your triceps aren't able to hold you yet, just allow the elbows to go out, and then you'll be using your chest instead of your triceps, and then hips hit first, and then roll down onto the belly. Okay? And then as the triceps get stronger, you'll be able to further that move. So we'll tuck the toes, we're into downward facing dog. Let's take a pulse here. Inhale, rising up onto the toes. Exhale, squeezing the heels down. 2 more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, squeezing down 1 more time. Good. Now just hold your down dog. And once again, really feel your way through this pose. Where is the resistance in down dog for you? Is it tightness in your shoulders, which feels uncomfortable? For me, I've got very tight Achilles, can't get my heels down, so that's my focus, is really pressing through the heels. Maybe the hips want to fly up, the belly pull in, the kneecaps lift. Maybe there's just more strength in this pose that you can have. Then refocus on your breathing. And then if you wish, lift the right leg and come to a single-legged dog and just experience that twist through the lower body. And that hip stretch through the left side. How does it affect your breath? Looking forwards, we're going to swing or maybe drop the knees and step the right foot back between the hands. Back knee to the floor. Let's take a pulse on this side. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking through. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pulse. 1 more. And again, how deep can you go? How much can you feel in this posture? How much lift can you get in the upper body, but how much lowering can you get through the lower body? Where are the shoulders? Are your lats engaged? Where's the breath? And release. Good. Stepping the back foot forwards, either feet together or feet slightly apart, and then working through your hamstrings, catching a hold of the legs. And again, this is for you to work through with your breath, how deep you want to go. And each time we revisit this posture in each sun sal, you'll just find that you're a little bit deeper into it as the body warms up. And then we'll release, suck up the belly, soften the knees, and roll up bone by bone through the spine. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Reset with a deep breath. Exhale. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, knee goes down, straight into 3 pulses. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking hips. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pulse. 1 more. Good, hands come straight down this time. Inhale, stepping to plank. Take a breath in plank and just really find that strength again and that length, that engagement through the core. Good, drop the knees, chest hover chin, or slowly release to the floor. Lovely, that's it, great. And then flip the feet, we'll come to a higher cobra this time. Still the back muscles doing the work, but now the arms taking some. Sakara, just pull your elbows in, and then shoulders down. 1 more breath here, and push back child's pose. Reset the breath again. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Let's pulse the heels. Inhale, rise up onto the toes. Exhale, squeeze the heels down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. 1 more time. Good. And then if you wish to, maybe a single-legged dog, just really working through that twist. And once again, just work out how you can deepen the pose that's available to your body. Maybe moving out of your comfort zone into the challenge of the posture. And then either swing that left foot all the way through, or maybe you need to drop the knees first and come to low lunge. Great. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pulsing down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pulse. 1 more time. And hands come straight down. Inhale, step the back foot in. Exhale, forward fold. So here we are again. This time, working a little deeper. Good, release, roll up through the spine. Inhale, arms floating up. And Samasthiti. Just take a deep breath in. Good, shake it out. Okay, so we're going to move on to sun salutes with a twist this time. So on the way out, we're going to take an opposite side twist. On the way home, it's going to be heel down and same side twist. So just notice the difference in the heel. That's really important because you don't want to have your heel down when you're doing an opposite twist, because my knee is now twisting, which is bad. And equally, if you're twisting like this, that's a bit uncomfortable because this hip is dropping that way, and then I'm trying to lift it that way, which is twisting the knee. So just make sure you get that heel in the right position. And then we're going to move from this variation. We're going to come down and we're going to step to bowler. So bowler, you basically take the back leg and step it more to the side as you can. So it won't be directly level with this foot, but it will be behind a little bit, but it's out to the side. And then you're going to try and take this arm up. So it's as if you're bowling. That's sort of, the bowlers kind of might do it like that. So that's the sort of basic setup, but then we're going to add a twist into it. Now from bowler, I want you to try and come to balance. Now that might look like you adjusting your position first and then coming up to stand. Or it may look like bowler straight to standing on one leg. So ideally, it will look like that. And then we're actually going to take the knee out and around and then finish in standing. So eventually when we're flowing, it will look like this. You'll just come straight up, move the knee through and come to standing. So how you adjust that is up to you. How many steps you take is up to you. And over time, you're going to try and put it into a flow. So let's start, lots of talking, couple of breaths. Let's go. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to step the right leg back, right palm down, left hand up. So really keeping the back knee lifted here. and straight so that you can feel the back quadricep working. And then just notice if you can sink the hips deeper whilst lifting the back knee higher. So then you're really working into that back leg. Now make sure you're not collapsing in your right shoulder. That means you're not dropping shoulder to ear, but you're pressing through the right hand and lifting up and away from your right shoulder. This gives you more space to twist. And then really find that twist through the upper body. Keep the hips low and breathe. Great, hands come down. We're going to step to plank, find that good strong plank pose, adjust through the core, find the breath. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga is your option. And then up dog or cobra as you inhale. Exhale, we're going to move straight to downward facing dog. Now, if you need to put child's pose in at any time for a break, you can do so, and then join us at the end of dog. So if you want to work a little harder, right leg lift, single-legged dog. Otherwise, you can hang out in two-legged downward-facing dog. If you're coming with me, working a little harder, we're going to bring knee to nose in a high plank. So you sink the hips down, pull your knee to your nose, and really crunch your abdominals. Now see if you can pick your heel up a little bit higher. Take one more breath. And then looking forwards, you're going to step the right foot outside the right hand and turn your back heel down. So if you've been in dog the whole time, you can just swing the leg through. Back heel to the floor, right palm flat, left hand up. So you're in your same side twist, taking care again not to collapse through the right shoulder, keeping that rotation through the shoulders, but this time really feeling the outside edge of your back foot. And keeping the hips sinking down by bending your front knee as much as you can. Take one more breath. And then bring your both hands to the floor. Lift that back heel again. Sink the hips. And we're going to be in lizard lunge. So keeping your back knee lifted. Option to come to the elbows. Or you can stay on the palms, but just get the hips as low as you can. And then second variation, you can drop your back knee now to the floor and be passive in the stretch. Get as deep into it. If your weight is in your elbows or hands, you can even allow the front knee to fall open to the blade edge of the foot and just get into the hips. Right, pulling that knee back in, hands flat to the floor, picking up the back knee, you're going to step to your bowler. So weight is firmly in the left hand here. It can even move a little bit out to the left. And then you're going to step that back foot out more to the side. You're still turning your shoulders towards me as you reach the right hand up. Get that rotation. Push down through the bottom hand. Yeah, you can go onto the toes or the outside edge of the foot. I like the ball of the foot down. I don't know, see how it feels for you. But you want to get the hips low, so whatever allows you to do that. Take one more breath here. And then make your way to standing on your right leg with your left knee in front of you. Now, you may want to hop the back foot in first, or you may just be able to stand with the knee up. Fix your gaze. When you've got your balance, knee out. You can lean forward slightly, knee behind. And then slowly come to stand. Very nice. Shake it out, reset. Let's do the other side. Inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back. Keep the knee up. Place the left palm down, right hand lift. And again, just track through the pose, piece by piece, pressing away through the left hand, lifting out of the left shoulder, rotating the shoulders. But as you lift round through the upper body, you're sinking the lower body down, but picking up the back knee. Good, really working into that back leg, finding your breath. Hands come down. Let's step to plank. Hold your good, strong plank. Make the necessary adjustments to find real length and strength through the core. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And this time we will take a child's pose just to reset for a moment and reset your breath. Tucking toes, moving to dog. You can either hang out in dog or join me in single-legged dog, left leg up. You can either stay here or knee to nose. Coming to high plank, press the mat away, knee up high, abs crunching in, lift the heel as much as you can, keep breathing. And then everyone step the left foot outside the left hand, spin your back heel down, and lift up through the right hand. So you're in a same side twist again. Don't collapse through the right left shoulder. Reach up through the right fingertips. Keep the hips sinking down by bending the front knee as much as you can. And engage through the back foot. Good. Hands coming down. Lift your back heel once again. And keeping the back knee off the floor, come to lizard lunge with a more active stretch in the hips. Again, find your edge here. It's a really good stretch. And then make it more passive by dropping the back knee and allowing gravity to take you into the pose, maybe even allowing the front knee to fall open with the weight in the elbows. And then coming back to the hands, tucking the back toes, lift that back knee, plant through your right hand, and lift the right foot out into bowlers, left arm up. And then make your way to standing on the left foot, right knee out in front. Fix your gaze, find your balance, and then slowly circle the knee. And make your way back to standing. Hands at the heart. Just close the eyes, reset the breath again. Good, bending the knees, we're going to come to Utkatasana. And we're going to hold this pose for a few breaths in the light of it being week 1. So let's really think about our alignment here. Really take the weight back into the heels. Lift your toes and then slowly fan them out as you press them down. Keep the lower body exactly as it is and begin to slightly back bend, look up, shoulders down. Keep sitting down and back as much as you can. A couple more breaths here. Straightening the legs, keep the arms up. Inhale there. Exhale, keep the length as you tip to the side, pushing down through the opposite heel, your left heel, and then really reach your left fingertips away. Focus on the breath. Inhale, come back up using your belly muscles, not your lower back muscles. Press through your right heel and stretch your right fingertips away. Good. Inhale, back up. We're going back to Utkatasana, so bend the knees. Inhale, come up. Sit into the heels, sit lower. Lift the gaze higher, shoulders down. 2 more breaths. Good. Hands to the heart. Let's twist elbow, outside knee. Really run down the arm, down the knee towards the armpit, and then really press the arm into the knee to get that twist. You're trying to level your heart, your chest bone towards your thumbs, breastbone. Option to extend the arms away, but keep that connection from elbow to knee. Good. Coming back to chair pose. Inhale up. And we'll move the other way. So start by running down towards the armpit. And then option to extend the arms away. Keep that connection if you can. And then just take a hanging forward bend. And just allow the body a moment to reset. So from here, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to pick up the right leg and slowly step it back to lunge. And then we're going to turn to horse pose or goddess pose. Actually, you know what, guys? Could you switch legs, okay? Bring the right leg forwards, the left leg back, and turn to horse the other way, only because I don't want to have my back to the camera for the first round. So coming up to goddess pose. Sorry if you're in front of me. Just bringing the hands to the heart. You're going to really squeeze the knees back over the little toes. So only turn your feet out as far as you're able to maintain good balance, but then make sure your knees are tracking your toes. So however far your toes are turned out, your knees must be also. Squeeze the knees back over the little toes and engage the outside edges of your feet into your mat. Now tuck your pelvis under so that it's directly underneath your shoulder girdle. Slight tilt in the pelvis, belly's pulled in, shoulders back and down, chest lifted. And then can you go down another inch? Keep the breath flowing, keep the knees pushing back, the hips opening. Down one more inch, hold it there for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently straighten the legs and take the arms up into a diagonal, just holding star pose here. Find the breath. And then we're going back into goddess or horse pose, but I would like you to go down to your deepest challenging level. Keep the breath flowing, the chest lifting, the knees pressing back, the pelvis tucked under, everything working. One more time. And then back up to star pose. Keep pressing through the feet, finding your balance. And then release the hands to the hips. Just turn the toes in, the heels slightly out. We come to Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward bend. But let's just fold halfway, keeping the hands on the hips. Maintaining length through the spine as you pull the belly in. Squeeze the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll release the hands down to the floor and come to our hamstring stretch. Just walking the hands back, allowing the head to settle down, aiming it between the hands here. And then just observe and notice your breath. See if you can squeeze more out of this pose, if you can just fall a little deeper into it using your exhale. Good. And then just pressing through the hands, coming up halfway. You're going to heel toe your feet in. We're coming to Malasana. So toes turn out again. The aim is to try and get the heels to the floor and the hands to the heart. But that may not be available to you. If you're very tight through the calves and Achilles, you may not be able to get the hands off the floor. You may not be able to get the heels down, one or the other. So wherever you're at, just breathe into it. It's such a good pose for lengthening, stretching out the flexibility of the ankles, the lower back, also the hips. So we're just going to take a few breaths here, just working through whatever resistance you're noticing by just allowing the breath to flow. So we're going to take the right hand down, the left hand up, putting a twist in here. And really try and twist through the shoulders as you stretch out through the right fingers. And then if you can, drop the hand behind your back, your left hand, and see if you can wrap the right hand in front of your knee, Zoe, in front of your knee. There you go. Oh yeah, under, that's good, like that. In fact, let's do that. I think that would be easier. Take the right hand under your right thigh and try and catch your hands behind your back. If they don't catch, this is what you're now going to do. You're going to come up to standing. You're going to hold your right knee in your right hand. If they do catch, you're going to attempt the same balance with the hands bound. So just wherever you're at, you're standing on your left leg with your right knee either in a bind or in your right hand. Take a couple of breaths, good kneel. And then we're slowly, slowly, with control, going to make your way back to Malasana. Is it too much on the knees, Malasana? If it is, you can stay up, hands on the thighs, and just keep it high. So just listen to how your body wants to take this pose. And then we'll take the left hand down, the right hand up, and we'll start with the twist. And then the hand goes under, and you bind behind the back. If you've got that bind, you're standing on the right leg, holding the left knee either in the hand or in the bind. Try and find your balance. And then with control, making your way back to Malasana one more time. Reset the body and breath. And we're just going to finish the sequence with crow. So the hands are a little wider than your shoulders. You're going to get those fingertips into the floor. And then we pick the bum up, squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the knees onto the upper arms, just below the shoulder, onto the upper arm, onto the tricep. Now this may be enough for you. You can just stay here, and what you're trying to do is tip your weight forwards and back so that your weight is in your hands and then in your feet. Just to get used to the sensation of the weight moving out of the feet and into the hands. If you feel comfortable putting the weight in the hands, the next step is to try and pick up one foot. And if you're still comfortable, lift your chin, look forwards, and just see if you can tip forwards enough to pick up the second foot. Take a few breaths in wherever you get to in crow. But wherever you are, I really want you to feel the sensation of weight in hands, not feet, even if you're in the very basic stage. Well done, Zoe, nice. Crows are taking flight in the front. Good job. Good, and then we're slowly going to just readjust to a more narrow-legged forward bend. So it's not as narrow as hips width. It's not as wide as we were doing past Sarita. It's somewhere in between, about crow's distance. And then I just want you to be passive. Turn the palms up to the ceiling, tops of the hands to the floor, and then just hang. Catch the breath, reset the body. And notice your mind. Is there a lot of talk in the head? A lot of thinking? Is there judgment about what you could or couldn't do? Try and just observe any thoughts, not thinking through them or judging them. Just notice the thinking that happens and then just let it go. Let the mind become still again. All that matters is the breath, and the very next breath you're going to take is all that matters in this moment. And then you're slowly going to walk the hands round to the front and step your way back to plank. You're feeling a bit exhausted, please drop straight to child's pose and take a rest. Otherwise, in your plank, we're going to lift one leg and release. We're going to lift the other leg and release. Lift one arm and release. And lift a leg and release. And then we're going to, everyone, sink back to child. Take a few breaths here. And then either coming to 4-point kneeling for more of the same, or coming back to plank for more of the same. And then this time, see if you can extend opposite arm and leg at the same time. If that's not available, just one leg at a time. And then switch or move to your arms, one arm at a time. And then sink it back to child's pose. going to do one more round, so either coming back to 4-point kneeling or back to plank once again. And either one leg at a time or opposite arm and leg. Final time on each side. And this time, from plank, either lower to chaturanga for 3 breaths or hold plank for 3, 2, 1. Everyone release onto your bellies. And just take your cheek onto your hands, wriggle your hips out from side to side. And breathe out any remaining tension in the body. And then you're going to bend your right leg, catch your right foot in your right hand, and extend your left hand forwards, chin to floor. And as you inhale, I want you to press the foot into the hand. So as I've said before with Bo, you're not lifting your foot with your hand. You're lifting your hand with your foot. So you kick the back foot until the upper body lifts, and then you can lift opposite arm and leg as well, everything off the floor. Now try and back bend, lift the chest, breathe 3, 2, 1, release. Take the other cheek to the floor and wriggle it out. Let's do the other side. So bending the left leg, catching the foot, extend the right arm out, chin to floor. Kick the foot into the hand. When you're up, using your back muscles, lift the right side body and then lift up higher. Breathe 3, 2, 1, release. And then we're going to take full bow pose. So bending both legs, catch the outsides of your ankles for the first variation. Now, if you're really flexible, you've been doing back bends a while, you can attempt to touch the toes or possibly even the knees, but your lower back might need more space than that. So if it does, don't attempt that. And then again, kick the feet into the hands to lift you up. Don't lift with the arms. And then see how high you can get. Breathing back, bending 3, 2, 1, release. And then our final variation, we're going to catch inside the ankles and take a wide-legged forward bend. So having the knees, a wide-legged forward bend, a wide-legged back bend, a wide-legged bow. So again, pushing feet into hands, get up as high as you can. Breathe 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. Stretch it out. Take a few deep breaths. Good. Come back up to 4-point kneeling. Place your elbows where your hands were. Interlace the hands. And then keeping the hips high, try and drop the head down between your elbows, stretching into your upper back and lats. Good. And then make your way to downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up into the air or staying in two-legged dog. Option is knee to nose once again. Working the core, picking the knee up high, pressing the mat away. And then slowly with control, everyone make your way to pigeon. Right knee out to the right, right foot to the left. Trying to get your right heel under your left hip bone. Just take a moment to lift and open the heart. And when you're ready, coming forwards to sleeping pigeon, really trying to sink the hips down. And then you can slowly walk your way back up. And we're going to take mermaid pose. Now, full mermaid, you stay with your hips square, as in pigeon, and you just catch the back foot in the elbow crease and try and catch the hands behind the head. Now, that's not available to most people. So most of you will want to drop the weight onto the butt cheek and then just catch the back foot and pull it in for a quadricep stretch. So just see what's available to your body and just get a nice front of thigh stretch out. You've got cramp. Ouchie. Good. And then release. Step to plank from there and make your way to downward facing dog. So either hanging out in dog or lifting your left leg up and then knee to nose. Crunching the core, lifting the knee high, pressing the mat away. And then slowly stepping it to pigeon. Trying to get that left heel under your right hip bone as you lift and open the heart. And then slowly walk it forwards. And then coming back up. And once again, making your way to mermaid, either drop the weight onto the left butt cheek first, and then reach for the back foot, or if you want to try and come to mermaid from hip square, you can. And release. We're going to swing the leg round this time and come to Baddha Konasana, just taking the soles of the feet together, knees out, grabbing a hold of the feet. Before you fold, just make sure that you're as tall as you can, lifting the whole of your rib cage away from your pelvis. And then slowly start to pull yourself forwards, keeping that length and lift through the ribs. Try and squeeze the knees to the floor using your elbows. And keep reaching the chest towards your feet. And then we'll slowly release. Coming up, you're going to take your feet out in front, place them flat on the mat, and then just take your hips back as far as you can whilst keeping your feet flat, arms up. And then you're going to rock off your sitting bones towards your tailbone. Go as far as you can, which may not be very far, it may be quite far, until you really feel that your abs are engaged. Bringing the fist to the heart, you're going to try and tap your elbows to the floor either side of you. If you want even more, you can lift your feet to bridge pose, to boat pose. If you can't tap the elbow, that's fine. You're just moving the elbow towards the floor, but not getting it all the way down. But we'll take another 5 on each side. If you need to stop before then, that's fine. Or you can just release the legs a little more. Good, last one. And then coming up, just drop your head onto your knees and take a few deep breaths. Good, we're going to take one more round of those. So if it felt really hard, don't go back as far. Stay more upright. If you felt like you could have kept on going and going, then get back further and challenge yourselves, or get your feet off the floor. When you're ready, we're going to try and take, 7 on each side, 8 on each side, something like that. See how you go. And then after your last one, just lower onto your back and hug your knees in this time. Rock from side to side. And then place your feet flat, hands by the sides. Just roll up into bridge, just to counter stretch those abdominal muscles. Push the hips high, get high onto your shoulder heads, and enjoy that opening into the spine and shoulders. Slowly release. And hug the knees in. And then straightening out the left leg, take the left hand to the right knee. Take it over the body into a twist as you reach the right arm away. And then just close the eyes and observe your body and breath. And then come back up, hugging the knees in. Extend the right leg away. Take right hand to left knee, cross it over into a twist. And extend the left fingertips out. Close the eyes and observe the body and breath. And then we'll slowly make our way to Shavasana. Lying flat on your back. The feet are as wide as your mat, just flopped out to the sides. Hands are slightly away from the body, palms facing up. Just take a deep inhale here, into the belly, the rib cage, the chest. Exhale fully. And again, deep inhale. And full exhale. I'm going to switch the recording off here, so stay in Shavasana as long as you can if you're watching this at home, or move into a practice of meditation at this point.